Hello, I'm Mike, and this is the 2021 Ford Explorer. Now, I've already done a review of the all-new Ford Explorer last year, but I wasn't really too kind to it because I didn't like the base 2.3-liter engine because it just made noise all the time. And the 10-speed automatic, or at least the programming of it, it sometimes felt as though the shifts were breaking the transmission. They were that rough. This one is a little different because it's a hybrid. So, is it any better? Let's go for a drive and find out. So this 2021 Ford Explorer Hybrid is powered by a 3.3-liter naturally aspirated V6, and it has an electric motor that produces 44 horsepower and is fed by a 1.5 kilowatt hour lithium-ion battery. And breathe. The total system output is 318 horsepower and 322 pound-feet of torque. Definitely a healthy amount, because the only other three-row SUV that is a hybrid is the Toyota Highlander, and that one has around 240 horsepower if I remember correctly, so this one definitely has more. This Explorer is not a plug-in hybrid, it's a mild hybrid system, so the electric motor aids the engine when accelerating, and when you're cruising it shuts off the engine obviously, and you can run on just electricity alone. However, you can't really go on full electric for very far, and you have to be extremely gentle with the throttle input. Maybe the first 3 to 5% of actually pressing the throttle pedal will have you in electric mode if the battery is fully charged, and even partially charged, I should say. But press it beyond that and the gas engine kicks in immediately. As a result, fuel economy is nowhere near as good as what you can get in the Toyota Highlander. This engine is rated for 10.1 liters per 100 kilometers in a city and 9 liters per 100 kilometers on a highway, which is, again, not very good when you compare it against the Toyota Highlander. That one can achieve as low as 6.6 liters per 100 kilometers on a highway. Ford themselves say that this hybrid system is meant more for towing and providing instant torque. And in terms of that, it does it. As soon as you put your foot down, obviously the transmission is going to downshift, but it also provides really good instant torque. As well, this Ford Explorer Hybrid can tow 5,000 pounds, which is more than the equivalent Toyota Highlander Hybrid. This engine is mated with a 10-speed automatic transmission, and it is much better than the last Explorer that I drove. That one also had the 10-speed automatic, but like I said, for some reason the programming just felt like as though at certain shift points the transmission is breaking or something broke inside the transmission. This one, the shifts are much smoother, and while at times you do notice them, they are nowhere near as bad as they were with that 2.3 EcoBoost. You can also take over shifting duties with the steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. However, be prepared to wait a while every time you use it because they are very slow to react. So you're better off to just leave it in D, and the transmission is gonna do whatever it thinks is best for the driving situation. And it does a really good job at that too. Stopping just over 2,200 kilograms of weight are some pretty good brakes, or at least very heavily assisted brakes. The brake pedal is quite sensitive for those that are not used to it. I mean, the first time I got into this car, I nearly had somebody hit me in the back because I was not ready for the amount of assist that this brake pedal gave me. But over time, you get used to it and you don't notice the difference, or at least the changeover from regen braking to the physical brake discs. And that's a good thing. Regen braking is one of the ways that the 1.5 kilowatt hour battery is recharged. The other way is through the engine when it's running. The biggest improvement for this generation of Ford Explorer is the new chassis and handling dynamics. It is a rear-wheel drive biased powertrain, which in turn makes the handling responsive and a joy to drive around mountain roads. It feels composed with a direct steering response. To use an oxymoron, the Explorer feels pretty light on its wheels around a twisty mountain road, even though it weighs 2 tons. Engine noise was one of the big issues that I had with the last Ford Explorer that I reviewed. Like I said, that one had the 2.3 EcoBoost, and that engine made noise all the time. Whether you were accelerating or just cruising or even decelerating, it always made noise, and it got really annoying. This one, obviously when the engine isn't running and you're on electricity, then it's not going to make any noise. All you hear is just a little bit of wind noise and road noise. When the engine does kick in, you are going to hear it when you're accelerating, but when you're just cruising on a highway, the engine is very quiet. Sitting inside the 2021 Ford Explorer Hybrid, it's one of the larger 3-row SUVs on the market. That is depending on where you sit. In terms of headroom across all 3 rows, there's plenty of it. In the front, there is loads of legroom for someone of my height at 6'4". This seat is in my driving position, and it can move further back still if I really want more legroom in the front. In the second row, this seat is all the way at the back, and I have plenty of space. There's about maybe a finger's width of space between my knee and the back. However, there's an indentation in the very back right here where there's maybe 2 fingers width of extra space, or depth, I should say. So plenty of space here in the second row. Although the Ford Explorer actually has one of the least amount of legroom compared to other 3-row SUVs in this second row. For the third row, well, let's go have a seat in the back and find out. Getting into the back is actually pretty easy. There's a button right up here. Springs the seat forward, and you just pop in. Seat is all the way, Seat is in the very far back setting right now, and I am squished in here. Obviously, these seats are not meant for someone of my height, that's 6'4". They're meant for kids that are significantly shorter than me, but in a tight pinch, they're okay. Definitely not the smallest. The Toyota Highlander has smaller seats, but the biggest one, if you really need to sit in the back, you'd probably want to pick the Honda Pilot. Also, these benches are quite firm. Not very comfortable for long cruises. But again, headroom, plenty of it in the third row. As for cargo capacity, the Ford Explorer Hybrid actually has the same amount as the non-hybrid versions of the Explorer. So that means you get 516 liters of cargo space behind the third row. Fold the seats down using the power buttons in the trunk, and cargo capacity increases to 1,357 liters. And finally, fold the second row for a maximum cargo capacity of 2,487 liters. The hybrid powertrain is only available on the limited trim of the 2021 Ford Explorer. It is a $3,000 Canadian dollar option on top of the $50,800 Canadian starting price of the limited trim. However, while it's only available on this trim level, the Explorer is still very well equipped. It has a lot of advanced safety and driver aids such as automatic emergency braking, lane departure warning with lane centering, blind spot sensors, intelligent adaptive cruise control which can adjust the set speed depending on the prevailing speed signs without any driver intervention. It can also be equipped with evasive steering assist if it thinks a collision is imminent. There are also quite a few convenience features such as a power liftgate, a panoramic sunroof, wireless phone charging. However, my Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus with a relatively thin case could not fit on the charging pad. Just something to be aware of. As well, heated and ventilated front seats, heated second row seats, power folding and raising third row seats, and heated steering wheel, just to name a few things. Overall, the 2021 Ford Explorer Hybrid is a much better three-row American SUV that can compete against the Japanese and Korean counterparts. At the moment, the Toyota Highlander Hybrid is the only direct competitor, with the Kia Sorento Hybrid due to arrive a bit later in 2021, at least in Canada. It already is available in the United States. The Toyota Highlander is probably the safe bet, but it's much less powerful, has less interior space, and can tow less than the Ford Explorer. However, the new Ford Explorer Hybrid should definitely be on your shopping list of hybrid three-row SUVs. It may not be as fuel efficient as the Highlander, but it's more capable when the going gets tough and more spacious as well. Things that every nuclear family with 2 or more children needs from a big three-row SUV. If you want to know more about this 2021 Ford Explorer Hybrid, I wrote a more detailed review of it over on my website. You can find that link in the video description. And as always, I will see you in the next car or truck or probably be another SUV next time. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and see you in the next video.